My name is, as we've said, Tammy Pack. And in my 50 years, I would say like a lot of y'all, I've already had some successful careers, a few of them. I've been a trial attorney. I have owned a couple of retail stores. I've owned some quilt shops. You know, I'm from Texas, so we do a lot of that back there, right? Texas in the house. Well, in 2007, I opened up a B&B reservation service called Absolute Charm B&B Reservations, so we've had that a while. But in 2015, my husband, Wes Pack, and I opened Absolute Charm Real Estate. We've only been around for about 18 months at this point, but we have already done in the last year over $150,000 in GCI directly from Facebook. We also, Wes and I personally have 16 listings at the, 31 listings total at the moment, Wes and I do, 16 of which are clearly directly from Facebook with a list value of $27 million. So this thing's from real. The great thing about this is you're going to hear from all kinds of people who do a lot of lead generating specific pixel targeting and a lot of that. Mine's a lot more personal. So this is how we do it. And we'll see if this is what works for you. We've been asked to give 3 tactics, a couple of resources, and 1 hot tip. So let's just jump right in. 3 tactics. Be interesting, be genuine, and be consistent. Be interesting, be genuine, and be consistent. Be interesting, doesn't that sound silly? It is absolutely the easiest thing for me to stand here and say, and it can be the hardest thing to do, right? But I'm gonna give about half my talk on this for one reason. If we don't get this right, the rest doesn't matter. If we're boring, you can't spend enough to win on Facebook if you're boring, you just can't. So we gotta focus down on that, okay? Now, we have an Absolute Charm Real Estate Facebook page, and we do the things you're supposed to do on there. We post listings, closings, team events, all this stuff, but we share it wildly onto our personal page because that's where the action is. For us, that's the sweet spot. And let's face it, I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with that anyway, because let's face it, we all work 24/7 anyway, right? Business is pretty much personal. I want to kind of blur that line, make an interesting story. What is your story that can be interesting? I don't know, but you do. If you look a little deeper down, if you think about what people tell you every day, what do they come up to you and say? I love how you give so much to our community. You're at every charity event I see. I love how you're always at SPCA. There's something they will tell you you're good at, so listen to them. I gotta admit, Wes and I kind of lucked into an interesting story, I would say. In 2014, I found myself suddenly single at the age of 47 with 2 teenage daughters. That might not be that big a deal to you, but in a town of 10,000 people, that was already pretty interesting, okay? It didn't take much. So that was exciting, but it got way more exciting when I said, okay, I'm gonna find me a man. So I got on the computer. That's what we do these days. You know, we get on the computer. And I typed in what I wanted, and I found the most charming, criminally handsome man you ever want to meet, and I put him right in my cart and said, 1-click checkout. I'm done, Amazon, I'm all about the Amazon. So people are watching, their eyeballs are on us for some reason, because they go, that's interesting. You wouldn't believe it, but this is when I had the women's boutique. There was a boutique owner next door. She literally came out, ran next door into our store and asked my employees, who's that good-looking man that Tammy Sykes is parading up and down the street? I said, honey, we thought we was just going to lunch. Turned out we was parading. I guess that's a verb in Texas, at least. So that was great, though, because people liked it, and it made a story. In 2015, we got married in Paris with our kids and beautiful children. You know, you can't beat that. So that made another interesting story, an interesting moment, and so the interest and the love story grew. We weren't planning it for marketing. You got to find what's organic in your real life that people are going, oh, that's kind of cool. They were telling me my story because everyone I met said, I've never seen you so happy. Have y'all ever heard that? Or said, you look better than you've ever looked. They'll tell you your story, okay? So we became interesting in that way. I find a lot of people we're all busy, so we all want to outsource everything we can. Get someone to do it. I can't pay New York or LA to do my marketing. I can't. And Tom's going to teach me someday to do it. I'm pretty good at Facebook, but I would be lousy running your Facebook because I can't make you interesting. But the good news is you can. You know, you've got those tools inside of you. You've got to find them, because that's all people care about, okay? You gotta be interesting, number one. Number two, be genuine. This one's quick and easy. Genuine is so simple. People will let me go on and on about my amazing husband because they know I love Westpac. It's not for marketing, it's real. I've also got a little white teacup Persian named Princess Coco. You can find her on Facebook, Princess Coco Works, look her up. She's already got a following, she's only 5 months old. We take her to work every day. She rides in my lap, she plays around the office. There's crazy cat ladies like me everywhere that love her. She's already got a following, and we took her to her debut open house recently. We had about 70 people show up. 12 hit the door saying, "Where's the cat? I'm here for Coco." That's who they wanted to see. But they know that without the marketing, it's not a gimmick or a ploy. We love Coco. And she's just part of our life, and we're happy to share. So we're going to be interesting. We're going to be genuine. Then we're going to be consistent. Consistent in 3 ways. I want to see you post consistently. Our attention spans are what, like half an inch, right? We don't have any attention span left. We've got to be in their face in a friendly, upbeat way. Why do you think Tom has us standing up all the time? I promise you, we will have done the hokey pokey before we're out of here today, okay? Because we all get distracted, we lose focus, so we got to be in front of them a lot. Even I worried sometimes. A few years ago, I took a 30-day trip to Europe, and I posted a lot of photos, really for my own benefit. I just needed a scrapbook of sorts because I knew I'd never do it when I got home. So I posted, I thought, man, did I just wear out my welcome? That was a lot to post. But I did it anyway, and I got home, went to a back-to-school night event, had someone come up to me and go, "I know that you know I'm sick right now, and I love to travel, but this year I can't go anywhere. But I have followed you every day and lived vicariously through you, and I woke up every day saying, 'Where are we going today?'" So the point is, guys, don't assume people don't want to hear from you. Assume they do until you can't assume anything else. So we're gonna be consistent by posting consistently. Now we're gonna add to our friend base consistently. We know about adding followers, right? But I mean your personal friends. You wanna add to it all the time. If I'm watching TV at night, I've probably got my phone out and I'm gonna add 15, 20 people. If they live in Fredericksburg, Texas, if they're from Fredericksburg, Texas, if they've ever visited Fredericksburg, Texas, or if we've got a mutual friend, I'm gonna hit add. Some of them gonna probably turn me down, but I won't know the difference. I'm not gonna go back and look. Now understand, when you're growing it this quickly, you can get your tail in a crack. Tell you a couple warning stories. I have a brother back in East Texas. Now understand, Fredericksburg's in the middle. It's in the hill country. But my brother in East Texas is the outgoing one. I'm really shy in the family. And he has a couple convenience stores. Well, as you can imagine, everyone in town is constantly going through there. Well, my brother is so friendly and has such a big heart, but he can't remember all those people's names. So he took to doing an old trick my dad used to use. He called me, "Gravy, what's going on, Gravy? Easy money, hey, easy money." And that worked great. Unless you were a cashier in that convenience store. They said every day somebody comes in and goes, "Be sure and tell Jimmy, easy money was here." They're going, they really all think they don't understand everybody's easy money, right? But what's the takeaway from that? It's not that he was fake. The takeaway was his spirit was so genuine, they really felt like the only easy money. Okay, so sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Happened to me too in our small town. I walked in a store one day in my morning rush, just running in, running out, and I hear from behind the counter, "Dami, I have accepted your Facebook friend request." I'm like, "Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, man. How's it going? Stay out of that heat. It's been crazy. I know about it, man." I got out of there as quick as I could, got on Facebook, found him, looked up some things who had joined me last night, and guess what? Now we're more friends in real life. So it's really about making connections and not being fake. So yes, we're going to add to that friend base consistently after posting consistently. And then we're going to find ways to bring new content every day. Every day we're going to think of something fresh and new, something that we have not talked about. We're also going to talk very quickly about a couple of resources. And this is pretty easy. So you're like, okay, great. I'm doing things on Facebook. People are looking at it. Does this work? I don't know. How many of you have a business Facebook page? Wow. That's awesome. That's almost everybody. So most of you have looked at the publishing tools or the insights, right? And it shows you how well your posts are doing. It'll give you the info you need. It'll show you two things, engagement versus reach. And we understand that reach is how many people's news feeds they put it in. Engagement is whether they click or whether they comment or the holy grail, they share your content to their personal people. That's huge, okay? So that's where we go to look. But you know the second place we look that we forget? Use your eyes and ears. In doing this and preparing for this talk, I have learned one thing. There's a lot of people that don't want to tell you they watched you on Facebook. Right? Have any of you run into this? A lot of people are very open about it, but I find that people, especially that don't post a lot or don't comment, don't want you to know they saw you. Why? Because they might think you think that they are stalking them. What a silly concept, right? I'll be the first one to go on record and say something. I put something out in the public, please look at it. Maybe it's just me, okay? So, the good news is we're going to wrap up with the best point I can give you today, and I've spent a long time gathering this data up. If you can get all that going and get your data, the big tip I'll give you is the one way to grow your following and get the most bang for your buck when you're spending on Facebook. There's one way. Only pay to boost your best stuff. Isn't that simple? Right? I'd write that one down. Only pay to boost your best stuff. What do most of us do? I've got 10 posts. I've got $100. I'm going to put 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. Well, what's wrong with that? There's a gentleman named Larry Kim who is a genius in Facebook advertising. He says there's two kinds of posts. There's donkeys and unicorns. Donkeys are duds, and we all post them every day. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just everyday posts that people aren't that into, right? Lots of scrolling past your donkeys. You can't avoid donkeys. No one has all unicorns. If you're a genius, 1 of 20 posts is a unicorn. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. What's a unicorn? Posts that people like. Is it because the button's a certain size or the font's just right? Who knows? Who cares? He says, I don't care. He goes, you'll never outguess it. He says, go look at who cares? If the insights say they like it, double down your whole budget right there and watch it take off. Why does this work? Think about it. Once he said this, it was so clear. Facebook likes content that people like. Because then those people tend to hang out longer on Facebook. When they see a bunch of donkey junk, they're going to move on to Huffington Post or whatever else is out there, right? They're in a crisis of original, fun content. So here's what they do. How many of you have ever done a Google pay-per-click? Right? Any kind of Google AdWords? They ask you to pay per click, typically. What does Facebook say? What's your budget? Now, that's kind of vague. $10. I'll be a big spender today. I'm going to plug in $10. And you notice what it does? It'll say your reach could be from 381 to 8,700. I'm looking at it going, don't you know Facebook? You know a lot. What's that about? You know what? They don't know yet because they don't know if you're about to boost a donkey or a unicorn. That's the gospel. This is how this works. They don't know. So what happens is here's your $10 pot sitting here. Your post goes up. They're watching it. People are scrolling past it. They're thinking, donkey. It's just a donkey. Nobody likes this. Stupid donkey post. We've all done them. So what they do is they'll charge you $1 for that post because they're like, we're going to spend your 10 bucks quick. You're killing sales. Get you out of here. That's what they do. Okay, so if you've got a little better post and people are kind of clicking, they're liking it, they go, hold on, what's a few dollars between friends? Slow down. This might be a unicorn. It's at least a horse. So they slow you down. They start charging you 25 cents out of your $10. So your budget's lasting. People keep clicking, liking, sharing, and commenting. They're watching all of this somehow. And your budget goes down, down, down. It's beautiful. We have so many posts now where we ended up paying 1 penny per engagement. Videos under a penny. It can take a $50 budget a long, long way, guys. That's where you get your money from. Well, it sounds good. It's a great theory I'm giving you. Does it work? I told you earlier about our B&B reservation company, right? Absolute Charm B&B reservations. We take phone reservations for vacation rentals and B&Bs, and we often hire new people. We hired one recently. She comes in there, and my manager goes, would you help us if you got a little spare time? Could you do a couple Facebook posts? We ain't got time for this. She said, oh, sure, I'll help. We thought, well, we've heard that before. People get busy and distracted. All of a sudden, I know that business has 7,000 followers as of April 17th. I know they do. So I'm looking at it, and I see it one day, and I go, 14,000 followers. I just checked this a week ago. Something's wrong. I said, I must be tired. I'll look at that tomorrow. I pulled it back up. It was for real. I called her in. I said, how much money are you spending? What's going on? I looked in there, and she had found a unicorn. She had found a unicorn by making a post about a pretty B&B room. Honestly, the post wasn't that much cooler than the last 10 I'd seen her do, and they were all pretty cool. They had some cute emojis and some pretty pictures, but for some reason, this one people liked. I don't care why. They just did. So she comes in. I said, how much did you spend on this? I don't even know the young lady's name at that time. She's that new. She goes, oh, no, ma'am, I don't have any authority to spend money. I'm like, are you kidding me? So you doubled what took me 10 years to do in 1 week. 14,000. So we look at it, and guess what we do? What I just teach you? Double down hard on that post. That's what we said. Let's put some budget on it. Would you believe that post is at over 500,000 reach? 2,000 shares? And this is the craziest of all, 3,764 comments. Yeah, that's hard to keep up with, but that's a unicorn, and that's what took us. By the way, in ending, I will say that as of this morning, that was only a few weeks ago, we're almost at 21,000 followers, and that phone reservationist is now our new director of marketing. Say hello to the Orange Crush team and Shaylee. So in conclusion, guys, I know that you guys, there's a lot of us, and I'd love to meet you and say hi to you. I wish you much success. And the only thing I'd say is there's a lot of y'all, so can we agree up front not to get offended if we got to start calling each other easy money? Thank y'all.
Tammy Pack in a Texas 10 minute.